Hi everyone. Kevin's asked me just to do a short video about my part 3, which I passed on the 23rd of December. So I'm just going to run through a couple of things that he's asked me to talk through regarding my part 3 assessment. So the first question he asked is why did I choose the pupil I chose? So I chose my pupil Neve basically because she was very good at answering questions, at reflecting herself about why something was happening. We were very much on the same wavelength, so if I asked her questions, she knew, she was very good at sort of reflecting what I'm asking, and then understanding really maybe what she needed to do and working out stuff for herself based on my prompts. So that was the main reason I chose her. I'm really glad I chose her. She was really good. So yeah, that was why I chose Neve. So in terms of the skills I was working on with her, so I was, and what I was going to, the subject matter I was working on, we're looking at judgment and planning, and the lesson before, she had about 15 hours, lots of private practice though. Lesson before, I'd done an intro to dual carriageways on the slip road around IKEA, so quite a slow slip road, just to do that introduction. On that lesson, towards the end of the lesson, there was a couple of times at roundabouts that she did have some hesitation, but we worked through that, also I thought, on the day, and we'd improved it on the day, so I stuck with my plan of it was going to be dual carriageway on my part 3. That's what we were going to do, head up towards the A38 from Devon Hotel, and work on slips on and off, coming off at Ken Ford and then coming back round. That was my plan. But as always happens, literally the first 2 roundabouts, so the BMW roundabout and Devon Hotel roundabout, she was hesitant on both. So after at the Devon Hotel, she was very hesitant. I decided to adapt the lesson there and then and brought her back to the BMW roundabout. So I did adapt the lesson, change the focus to dealing with the hesitation. Now, in hindsight, what I should have done is go back to the BMW, turn right, take her up to macro, stop there, go through, talk through and try and establish the root cause as to what was going on for her. But I didn't for some reason. I turned left and I pulled her up opposite the Matford Business Centre, and we talked through and went through it and what have you, and then went back to BMW and Devon Hotel and did those again. But I didn't do exactly the same route, and I don't know why I did that, because it's keep it simple, isn't it? Go and redo the stuff that you've just that she hasn't done so well. But I didn't, and anyway, we did that, and there was still some stuff going on, so I decided to make the lesson even easier really and take her back to some more familiar roundabouts on on Marsh Barton. Went back towards Marsh Barton, and we did a couple of circuits there, and stopping and evaluating, and did get to the root cause of what was going on for her. But my feedback, so John O'Brien was my examiner. He sat with me for about 15 minutes after and gave really detailed feedback, which was so useful. And I know actually sort of I could knew myself where I basically, his main feedback was my route. I should have just taken her back to where we were, and I don't know why I didn't do that. They always say keep it simple, but for some reason I think I had in my head a slight plan. If things did go wrong, this is what I was going to do, and instead of just going with it on the day and redoing that little loop that she'd not done so well, which is what I should have done, I sort of had in my head that if we were going to go back to roundabouts, that's what I was going to do. So I suppose the lesson I learned from that is just you can have an idea of where you might need to go, but don't overly plan stuff. Is go with it on the day. So if they mess up a little bit of a route, just go back and do that same route and start to show that improvement on that same little route. And I think if I'd done that, I would have scored a lot higher. I scored 34, so I lost marks really on my route planning, on my lesson planning. The other stuff wasn't too bad, but lesson planning, no, I didn't score particularly well, and it was for that reason, and John went through that. And, you know, his comments were sort of, I got to the root cause of what was going on, but just took a little while. And I think, if I think of the Morecambe and Wise sketch where he's playing, Eric Morecambe's playing the piano, and he says he knows the song, but he doesn't always necessarily play the notes in the right order. It reminded me of that a bit. So I think if, in hindsight, if I just kept it simple, I probably would have got to the root cause quicker, and then, you know, could have progressed and potentially could have sorted that out a lot earlier. I don't know whether we'd have had time then to go up to the slips, but I could have sorted it out earlier, and that was my main feedback. And yeah, I found that really helpful. So yeah, so I hope that helps. It is really nerve-wracking, but yeah, just keep it simple and deal with what happens on the day. Don't overcomplicate things. Just try and stick to that same route. If they mess that up, just go back and redo it. And that's what we do all the time in lessons. So why I didn't do that on test day, I don't know, but I did enough to get through. So lots for me to work on still want to improve, you know, and obviously, yeah, I want to be the best I can be. And so I will be working on that, and the feedback really was very helpful. So yeah, so that's it really. I hope this has been useful. Wishing you all the best of luck with your part 3, and take care. I'll see you on the road. Cheers, bye.